There you go. Wait. 3, 2, 1.
Yo, live from the gorgeous Prince George's. The Shattered Illusionz Podcast is back, man. You know the motto. If you ain't sweat, you ain't.
If you ain't sweat, you ain't work, man. No sweat, no checks.
Hold on, man. I'm getting ahead of myself. But look, man, we're back, man. It's been like a month. Had to do a couple upgrades to the studio and everything, as y'all can see. Better lighting, got more camera angles and everything for y'all, man. So we got some really big, really dope, good interviews coming up. But before we get started and start rolling and everything, man, y'all, please follow us on social media at Shattered Illusionz on Instagram and TikTok. We're doing pretty good on even YouTube as well. Also, guys, let us know what you want to see, who you want to see, man. We're here to help make you guys better, man. So with that being said, let me check on my boys, man. D.
What's good, bro? You
finally back on the platform, man.
Yeah. Had to take a little break.
Well, good to have you back, though. And then, hold on, we got somebody I don't even know who he is no more, man. Somebody's here, man. I ain't talking about Toon. I'm talking about you, Will. I'm gonna make a shirt called "Where's My Producer," but obviously he's here now. So
yeah, I'm here.
Will, how you doing, bro?
I'm cooling.
All right, man. So got a good interview for y'all, man. So this dude that I have here, man, a dude I got a lot of respect for, and I don't take that lightly, man. Good dude, good head on his shoulders. Every time we see each other, it's always love. Inspiring entrepreneur, great physique, good bodybuilder, man. Just all around good dude, man. So without further ado, I want to introduce my man, Mr. Sweatcheck himself, my man Toon.
Will I take him to the Yankees?
Toon,
Yes,
how's it going, bro?
It's going well, bro. You know, first and foremost, I appreciate you having me and just thank you for the invitation altogether. You know, my boy TK always been a humble guy. Every time I see him in the gym, it's all love. And when he approached me and said, "Hey, bro, I want to get you on the podcast," I say, "Man, let's get it." You know, you ain't even got to ask me twice. I'm down. You know, all the love always been there, energy been there. So I was like, "Man, let's get to it."
Man, I appreciate you, man. Like I told you before we even started, a lot of people I've asked to come on the platform bullshit it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you always just coming through, showing love and stuff like that, man. So I want to make sure I give people their flowers while they can smell them, bro. So like for real,
Facts.
Got a lot of respect for you, man. Good dude, and just thank you again, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. And like I said, I appreciate you inviting me and having me, man. It's definitely an honor. I see what you guys got going on, Shattered Illusionz. This is dope. When I walked into the room, I was blown away, still blown away. This whole setup got me making feel like I'm super important. So,
hey, man,
what y'all got going on is really dope to see. And you know, I'm just appreciative that y'all got me here tonight. So we on deck.
And it's gonna be a good conversation, man. And I wanted D on this conversation, like really, because D's kind of like a bigger brother than me. Always just a good dude. We always have good conversations, man. I just think the three of us will have some really good chemistry and have some dope energy going on here, man.
Absolutely.
But before we even get started, Toon, do you mind telling the people like who you are, what you do? Just a quick little elevator pitch so people can kind of get to know you a little bit better.
Got you. So I'm originally from PG County, Maryland, District Heights, more specifically. Grew up in the area, went to Largo. Fitness influencer / enthusiast. I love fitness. I love health and nutrition. And I just love, you know, an overall healthy, holistic mindset, you know. Truth be told, I'm looking to do big things in the fitness space. I'm looking to expand the brand. I have a brand that's called Sweatcheck. My motto is no sweat, no check. If you ain't sweat, you ain't work. Self-improvement is always on the menu. And that's what I preach. And I love to be around people who have like-minded, who think the same, you know, who are on the same mindset as me and, you know, who are all about self-improvement and try to better themselves each and every day. And that's what I preach. And that's the message that I try to relay every time you see me.
Dude, that's awesome. You said a lot right there. So what actually contributed to you starting Sweatcheck? Like, where did that come from? Like, how did it start?
Interestingly enough, like I said, I'm always working out, played college football. Subsequently after, I wanted to see where I could take my physique and my body if I started to take my nutrition and my health seriously.
Right.
Obviously, we're playing football. We had a strict workout regimen, working out every day, damn near. But those were football workouts. They were geared towards football. And I played D-line. I was a little bit heavier back then. I was about 250, 260.
And where you at now, weight-wise?
Weight-wise, I'm probably sitting around 222, 225 is my average weight. But I told myself, I'm like, after I graduate, I want to see where I can really take my physique and my body if I focused on proper nutrition and corrective exercise. So Sweatcheck was an idea that just kind of popped in my head because I sweat like a dog when I work out. I sweat like a dog when I work out. And interestingly enough, I just, I wanted to come up with something catchy, something that people can resonate with, and it could be relatable to the masses. So one day I was just working, I'm like, man, Sweatcheck. I'm like, that sounds kind of dope. It got a nice ring to it. It kind of got a cool vibe to it. So I was like, Sweatcheck. And then sure enough, during my workouts, I'd be sweating. I'd hold the camera up like most people do. And I'm like, man, Sweatcheck. And then one person started to, mention me and tag me. And I'm like, all right, cool. I might have something here. Then so on and so forth. It was 4 people, 5 people. Then it just became a whole trend. So I was like, man, I'm about to take this and run with it.
Shit, man. That's some good shit, man. And I even say it to myself sometimes, like, you got me saying it and all that.
Appreciate you.
So let's talk about the whole football thing, man. How has that impacted your life? Because D, you play football too, man. And y'all don't know, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit of a story real quick, man. We played middle school football together, man.
Yeah.
And what was that thing called? The Nutcracker? You had to lay down and then you had to like run.
Yeah.
This nigga D.
Yeah.
This nigga D. We went up against that joint like what, once or twice?
I don't even remember.
That nigga hit me so hard I didn't even want to play football no more. So going from basically college football to working out yourself, because I've seen your physique like over the years too, bro. Like I said, you always had a good physique.
Sure.
But over the last, like, let's say 4 or 5 years, you've kind of gone to that next like level of almost like not believing that you're even natural. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So what changed in your workout in that bit of time, you think?
Got you. So during my time I went to Towson. I played D-line, Towson University in Baltimore County. I played D-line, DN. And I was actually undersized for my position. Most D linemen are about 270, 280, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I was undersized. So what I lacked in size, I made up for with effort and speed and just knowing where I had to be on the field. But to answer your question, what changed was the way I worked out. So back in college, we focused on more heavy lifting and more explosive type exercises. But after I graduated, I was just like, okay, let me go from heavy lifting to more resistance style exercises. Let me stretch more. And folks, let me tell you, stretching is actually more important than the workout itself.
I was going to say to touch on that and not to cut you off, Toon, but
not at all.
The first 5 or 6 years I worked out, I didn't stretch at all. Like I had the flexibility of a 2x4. I'm dead serious, man. But luckily, the girl I was dealing with, she got me more into like yoga and stretching and things like that. I'm approaching 30 now, bro. So you can't really just go into the gym and start lifting 3 or 4 plates no more.
Not at all.
And every time I see you, man, you always get in there, you go to the bar, do your pull-ups and your dips, but also between the sets, you're doing your stretches, like you're doing your sometimes I see you with the band and stuff like that too,
Correct.
man. So talk about the importance of that. Just,
man, stretching. I tell everybody who asks me, like, man, what's the secret? What's the secret? How do you get like that? How do you get your muscles to look like that? Or how do you get these cuts or this definition? I tell people, man, you got to stretch. Stretching is more important than the actual workout itself. And the reason why I say that, because I always tell people this: you have to compare your muscles to a rubber band. I use this scenario. So what happens on a rubber band when you pull on it? It expands, right?
Yeah. Same
thing with your muscles. So when you stretch, you allow your muscles to breathe. That's like breathing for your muscles is stretching. So what happens when you stretch? You allow proper blood flow to circulate through your muscles. Not only that, but it allows the muscles to grow and expand. So, and then not only that, but stretching leaves you less susceptible to tears, pulls, strains, cramps, and then just overall wear and tear from rigorous training, because guys like us, we're in the gym often, damn near every day. So the normal soreness that you would feel had you not stretched, you don't even feel that anymore. Like when I go to the gym and work out and I bust my ass in there, I don't get sore anymore. Right. Funny enough, like I don't feel sore. I don't wake up like, why my back hurting? Or, why do I
want to get there one day. So you still working on me, right?
Yeah, but more importantly, like stretching is imperative. I can't stress it enough. I see people all the time go in the gym and just start throwing around heavy weight. You got 4 plates on the squat rack, or you got three plates on each side on the bench press. And I'm just like, man, these guys ain't stretch a muscle. They ain't warm up or nothing. They just go in there and get to it. And you can't do that. I mean, you can, but then, you're leaving yourself open to risk of injury, which we all want to avoid.
And I think that has a long-term effect on you, man. Like people don't understand, like if you do something a certain way, you harden your body. That's what we was talking about before we came on here. Like even your body with football, if you don't take care of it properly, you have injuries afterwards. Like they tell you, go in the training room. You got injury. A lot of times you like, God, I don't want to go. I'm trying to nap between classes. You trying to do different stuff, but you got to take care of your body, man.
Got to.
That's real.
So are you dealing with any kind of nagging injuries?
Yeah, man. My shoulder, man. My shoulder that's probably the worst one. Like it goes on and off. Like I know, like if I go try to lift, if I try, get into push-ups when I'm working out, if I'm doing it, I'm like, God, it's something called impingement. Basically, my shoulder came out of place and then it popped back in, but I still had scar tissue. So that's why the reasoning behind it, it is. But it just comes from like if I probably won't be able to, as far as bench press, I probably won't ever be able to do over 300 pounds again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I know, but it's no need for me to do that. But, like you said, me stretching, me taking the time to do PT, it probably would be better.
So you've been working out more now and everything too, because we I see you. We share Apple Watch and stuff like that. So he's been doing this thing. Nice. You've been kind of been doing your boxing and everything too.
Yeah, I've been trying to get back into that boxing workouts. I just like to say this: like, if you're a boxer, I respect you so much.
Facts.
I tried to get into where it started was I was like, let me throw 300 punches a day, Then I was like, let me throw 500. Then let me throw 1,000, and I was doing really great. And that's something I wanted to get into too. You can come in time and you get motivated, right? Mm-hmm. Motivation runs out.
We're going to talk about that.
It's like a tank of gas. It's gonna run out. You're gonna have to refill. Sure. When it's low, it's low.
Fact.
You see a gas light come on, like, God, where's the gas station?
I gotta stop at the station.
Yeah. But when you consistent, it's a difference, because when you consistent, it's almost like I don't want to do it, but I gotta do it. It's a part of my routine. It's a part of my daily life. So the motivation's cool, but consistency, that's gonna get you through, and that's where I'm trying to get with everything. Because I actually we can talk business. I actually I assist people with getting loans for their business.
Nice.
Whether it could be new or existing business.
Sure.
So, but just trying to get all the phases of life and everything I'm trying to do and balance to show my consistency in every area.
Absolutely.
So let's get back to that tune. That's actually a great point, man. Touch on the importance of discipline and motivation, because I tell people all the time, if you just work while you're motivated, you'll never get anywhere. Because if I'm being honest, bro, when I go to the gym, I'm in the gym 6 days a week. If I went to the gym when I felt like it, I'd never be in there.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you just literally, like D was saying, it becomes a habit to you. It's like brushing your teeth, taking a shower. If you just say, you know what, no matter how I feel, I'm still going to do this today. And that's where a lot of people actually just fall off and mess themselves up, man.
Very true.
So how important is discipline in your life, man?
And I like the fact that you guys brought up this topic. D, I was going to piggyback off you, but now that TK mentions it,
do you, man? Go ahead.
Discipline there. Well, let me say this first. There's no such thing as motivation.
Facts.
In my book, it varies from person to person, but to me, there's no such thing as motivation. Motivation is this fairy tale idea in your mind that there's this, voice in your head telling you that, oh yeah, you can do it. But it all comes down to discipline. It's not about what you want to do. It's about what has to be done in order for you to get to where you say you want to go.
Right.
Like you mentioned, if you just relied on your feelings and how you felt all the time, you wouldn't be at the gym at all.
Right.
You'd be in the bed and
Shit.
you wouldn't even think about exercise. It's the discipline that tells you it's not about how we feel. It's about what needs to get done and what we're going to do regardless of your feelings.
Right.
And that's the thing that people fail to realize is that, if discipline is what's going to take you over that hump, is going to get you to the next level. It's not motivation, because like D mentioned, motivation runs out, and it runs out very quickly. There's only few times where you feel motivated. Maybe you might be looking at somebody and, you may have that spark, but that spark, it runs out fairly quickly.
So I always equate motivation to happiness, because I always say happiness is determined by what's going on in your life. Because if everything's not going right in your life, you're not happy. If everything's not going right, a part of your motivation, this need to go right, it runs out. So it's not anything you can depend on. So I don't depend on, I need to be happy all the time. I always focus on endurance now and in this point in my life, because you're going to go through some stuff in life. So your endurance is important, just like that consistency.
Right.
Like, I faced this. I went through this. And I always tell people, you either going through something, about to go into something, or coming out of something. So it's all about endurance.
That's
every
facts, bro.
single time. Anything you think about in your life, especially your adult life, it's been about endurance. That's why you're still standing. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So that's my mindset and perspective at 30 years old now. Something come my way at work, something come my way this or that. I try to motivate people to think this way, though. Hey, look, it's your endurance. That's it. So that's how I feel about it.
And I will say, I think that is easier said than done. I think discipline is kind of like a muscle. You have to work it for it to kind of even grow in the first place, So, you kind of have to be disciplined to get disciplined. But people have a hard time even just being disciplined one time, let alone 10 or 15 in a row,
Yeah.
So,
I want to touch on that as well, too, not to cut you off.
Go
but
ahead,
discipline is also something that you have to practice. It's just, you just don't become disciplined. You just don't say, all right, you don't wake up and say, all right, today I'm disciplined. No, discipline is something that you have to practice, and it takes, what D mentioned, it takes consistency. So you have to even be consistent at being disciplined for you to fully instill discipline. It's not something that you wake up and just say, I'm disciplined today. No, it's something that you have to work on each and every day until it becomes routine and it becomes habitual.
Yeah.
Then at that point, you realize that you've instilled some type of discipline where, everyday routines feel like the norm.
Yeah. So I don't want to get deep because I just want to say this. Because I don't want to sound like contradicting. So when I say, because I think you do need that gas to get to that point of discipline and consistency.
Sure.
So you do need that motivation. What I'm saying is you can't depend on that motivation.
That's real.
You need that point. You need somebody to come talk to you. Hey man, what you doing? What's going on? You need that. But I can't depend on that speech that person gave me.
I like that.
I like it too. I like it. I was going to challenge it, but I think it's facts.
But you need that point, because what turns your life around? What is something that inspired you all, that motivates you to the point where you say, all right, I'm gonna be consistent about the gym. Something that motivates you. You probably could think back on it and say, this is it.
Facts.
But you didn't keep that. It was the consistency that kept you in the gym.
That's actually a good question. What kind of got you into working out? What was that spark moment for you?
The spark moment for me, well, like I mentioned before, played football and we worked out every day. But my driving point to want to stay in the gym and be consistent, like, I like to wear nice clothes.
Yeah.
I like to wear nice clothes. And I also like to look good in my clothes when I'm wearing nice clothes. So that was kind of my driving factor. Like, let me drop some weight. Let me look how I feel like I should look. That way I can buy the clothes I want to buy and, look good while wearing it. So that was one of the incentives for me, is just to look good in my clothes and be able to buy the things I want to buy without not having to be limited or subjective to certain sizes, or I can't wear this brand because the clothes don't fit me because, you know, I don't have a certain physique that is, you know, geared towards these type of clothes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys my point, man, because like I'm still traumatized from this. Like I was a heavier guy in middle school and high school. D will tell you I wasn't always like this whatsoever. So I still have flashbacks of being in the gym, you know, being that kind of fat kid, and like all the girls swooning over the guys with the six packs and the muscles, and they saying, "Oh, you got titties," you know, laughing at me and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. That shit traumatized me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. And like, bro, it's just so funny because like people. I'm gonna get a little controversial here, but I honestly think that bullying can be a good thing sometimes.
You listen. I agree to a certain extent.
Okay.
I think bullying, like when we were in school, bullying is a little different now. Because if you get bullied, millions of people might see you today getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. So not only do you have the embarrassment there, it's everlasting online forever now.
Yeah.
So it's a little different
that's kind of more of a cyberbullying kind of thing, though.
But is it? Because now you deal with cyberbullying also, but physical bullying as well. If somebody beat you up, now you're not only getting beat up in front of your friends, or it's word of mouth. Now you got beat up online. It's getting retweeted every second of the
You
day.
get beat up in front of the whole world.
Yeah, you know, it's a little different. That's why I say I agree and I don't agree, because that's how I started joning. I got people start talking, you know, you chubby, you know what I'm saying? I bet. That's how I got good at what. That's how my responses got where it was, you know. So I'm just like, it is what it is.
But I think that humiliation can be a hell of a driving motivator, bro. I'm telling you, how many times you've seen a guy that didn't get any women in high school goes on, becomes a $100 million tech entrepreneur or something like that, or turns out to be a really good fitness guy. And I'm not saying that you should be bullied, but I'm just saying learn how to take that adversity and make it work to your advantage.
But that's gonna come. That's gonna come from people. This is the thing. That's the part about giving back. So the people that did get bullied, or when now you showing people how to deal with it. I dealt with it this way. It might not be the necessary way you deal with it, but I dealt with it this way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So even in partnering younger men that might be facing being bullied, or saying people saying you look this way, you need to look this way. So it's a lot of that, and we can get into that about how you should look. That's good that you brought it up, because it's something I've been talking. We talk about this all the time. I did a paper one time talking about Instagram and people showing the highlights of their life.
Let's get into it, man.
So you're showing the highlights, but guess what? You play football. Guess what coaches used to say? Don't send me your highlight tape. I want to see game tape.
That's facts.
So you can show your highlight tape all day.
The best plays.
You could show. See, people will show you their car online, but they won't show you. They ain't got no food in their fridge. They've been eating off the same thing for a whole week. They struggling. But I'm just saying, people are not going to show you those parts of their life. So you think, man, I'm supposed to be here, and this whole thing, I need to be here by 30 years old. I need this, that, and the third. I promise you, when you go buy something, they're gonna say, "Hey, how old are you?" They just want your money. You go buy a house, they're gonna say, "What's your age?" None of that matters. Do what you need to do in the time frame that God allows you to do with what you have. I mean, that's just what it is.
So we were talking about this before, Toon. What do you think about this whole social media thing? And to relate it back to the gym, we were talking about this earlier, man. It's like the gym that we go to, everybody goes there to be seen. They call it a club for a reason, you know.
Club goals.
Yeah, no bull. It's very few people actually in there putting the work in. People in there like ain't worked out in 3 or 4 months, but they'll come for a week and got to post every little Instagram story or something like that, man.
Very true.
I literally hate stuff like that, because if you really putting the work in, I'll see it in your physique. You know what I'm saying? It's like I say this all the time, but Tyrion Lannister had a great quote on Game of Thrones. He said, "No man who is king says I am the king." So essentially, man, if you really about that life, it's going to show with the results, not by you talking.
Absolutely.
So touch a little bit on that, man. How you feeling about this whole Instagram fitness influencer thing and stuff like that?
Man, first and foremost, social media is cap. And when I say that, what do I mean? I mean it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion.
Shattered Illusionz,
and it gives people this distorted sense of reality, this false perception of what reality is and what it's not. And unfortunately, we see it every day in the gym. People are doing everything more for social media than for themselves.
Facts.
You know, people are doing it more for the gram than for their longevity. And like you mentioned, man, you don't gotta show everything. If you put in the work, the results will speak volumes. It'll speak for itself, other than you trying to falsify, you know, these gains that you haven't worked for, or the work that you haven't put in, and try to portray it on social media and have other people believe that you're putting in work. But in all actuality, you know deep down if you're putting in the work or not, you know?
Yep.
And there's certain people that put in the work, and there's a lot of people that don't put in the work. So social media, it has its pros and its cons, but these days I'm seeing a lot more cons than pros. And for guys like us, you know, fitness in the fitness space and the influencer space, like I do it to motivate people to get better. You know, it's funny enough, I hate recording. Like I hate, you know, taking time to record videos and stop and do it. It takes a lot of time. It takes effort. When deep down, I just want to work out. I swear to God, I wish I had somebody that's walking around with me with a camera all day. Like, hey, bro, like, all right, hit the record button. All right, bro, get this set. That way I don't have to stop and do it. Opposed to other folks who are just, you know, they're doing more recording than exercising.
So I was going to say, so it's crazy that you say that. So I was like, you know, I had posted a video when I was working out really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see people out and they'd be like, man, because I lost 50 pounds.
Nice.
But I gained some of it back. But,
okay.
You know, but I was seeing people out and they started, man, thanks for posting that. You know, it motivated me. I seen how big you were. I seen how you came down. I seen that. I seen your journey. I appreciate that because I was trying to show my journey. I didn't want to just show. Look at me now, like it looked like I had surgery. Nigga got a tummy tuck.
Got a BBL.
Just show up. I ain't seen this brother in months. Just come out, cut up, had fake abs and everything. But it was, you know, like I said, it was like, all right. And that's what part of me, that's what I said. Because somebody said to me the other day, it was like, man, you was doing really good. You know what? What happened? Da, da, da. And I was like, you know what? I got to get back on it even. And it was the eating part. So the working out part, easy for me.
That's most people, bro.
But then when I can cook, moms can cook. Yeah. So it's just like.
And he ain't lying either, man.
When it's like, Mom, hey, Derek, I done made this mac and cheese. You know, you smell the mac and cheese. You know, like the little cartoons, the smoke coming through, hit your nose. Yeah, so it was like, God, you know, and it's just like, you want to take some of this on? And you know, you tell your mom, hey, just a little bit. Get your whole thing. So it's just do that. It's just like getting everybody, even in my household, like involved in the lifestyle of eating and stuff like that too. So that's helpful too. So anybody that is trying to eat, I feel like if you can get other people that's around you on that journey too, that's really helpful because it's hard trying to eat right. You trying to eat a lettuce wrap and the person got a nice burger right in front of you. So it's just, you know, you have to try to be on the same page with your household or people just around you in general that you're around a lot.
I think it kind of goes full circle though, man. Like it's more the discipline, you know, like how bad you actually want it, man. And kind of go back to what you were saying, Toon, about the recording thing, man. Believe it or not, I actually hate recording too.
Hate it.
I didn't have social media for the longest. And I'm starting to hop on now because of this platform and everything. But the reason I'm hopping on now is because I just feel like that the things that me and my brothers talk about can help a lot of guys out.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and I feel like it's more of a higher purpose than just me right now.
Sure.
But back to what you were saying about you working out, man. I see you when you work out a lot of time. The amount of time that you actually record is a very minuscule amount of your workout. You know what I'm saying? You might have a little bit of a group and y'all kind of go in the room, y'all little 20, 30 minutes, and y'all kind of keep it moving after that. Right. But guys that come into the gym now, they whole workouts being recorded. They'll act like they're going real hard for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then you know they do. Get on that bench.
Man, guys abuse the bench too.
And then 30 minutes go by. They might do another set. I'm like, bro, like why you in here?
Why are you here, bro?
Why you in here?
You taking up space and you playing yourself.
So this is kind of like y'all talking about because I was thinking about it. So I have a bad, like, it's a pet peeve. Like if I'm trying to help somebody and I'm like this, like, yeah, I'm giving this sandwich to this dude. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. I hate that.
But the Bible says
So that's your reward. That's what the Bible say. It's your reward if
Yeah.
you show other people, talk about. Yeah, I just had to give him $100. You know,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you weird, bro.
You know that I equate that to the same thing as how because then some people I've recorded to say, hey, come down here. We're giving away turkeys. Come down here. We're giving away food.
Mhm.
If you know somebody to do that's a different. That's just like if it's your goal. If you're recording and saying, hey man, get back on it. It's not for you or trying to self promote yourself for no reason. It's people that promote themselves and they're not selling anything.
Correct.
So it's just like,
And I want to piggyback off what you had mentioned about just the eating and more importantly about showing the journey. That's being transparent. More people need to see the journey opposed to the grass being greener on the other side.
Right,
People
right.
see the finished product, but they don't see the days and the nights of the sweat or the effort and all the work it takes in and all the back end work that that needs to be put in. So I appreciate you mentioning the fact that people need to see the process. That will motivate more people than anything, because a lot of people see the finished product and they feel like, man, I'll never get there, or man, this guy's had it sweet all his life, he never had to work, or he just had it made. And it's not even like that. And a lot of people try to show the glitz and glamour, but they don't show the back end work. They don't show the footwork that they had to put in. And it goes back to a conversation that me and TK had prior to the podcast, whereas though people don't want to be seen in a vulnerable light. They don't want people to view them as being vulnerable because they don't want to be judged. We live in a world where people are afraid to be judged, or the opinions of others dictate how we move.
Right.
For most people, therefore they're cautious about showing people certain things or certain sides of them.
Well, that's bad for our generation. I'll say this, because everybody got to show how tough they are. They have to show that nothing phases me. No, I can't be broken. I can't be this. I can't be that. It's not true. We're human. We're human. If you offend me, you offended me. I'm offended. But guess what? Also, in saying that, as an adult, I need to talk to you. We need to have a conversation. We need to, so we can move past certain stuff. Correct. Because it's just people have this wall up that like they're invincible, which we're not
at all.
But I always say this. I say hurt people hurt people.
Oh yeah.
And like when most people don't have any communication skills. They don't want to learn how to fix those things. They have no self-accountability. And like we talk about this all the time. When something's wrong with you, I always say this: whatever's broke, fix it. So when I have to look at something and say something's wrong with me, that's a vulnerable place right there. I have to say, look, my shortcomings here. Look, I'm weak here. And most people can't handle having that conversation with themselves. It's a different level of vulnerability.
It's a tough combo.
So that's it goes hand in hand with what we talked about before. Most people struggle with people say they struggle with forgiving people, but I think most people struggle with apologizing.
I agree with that.
I think they struggle with apologizing more than they do for forgiving, because a lot of times I do forget. You might not say you forget somebody, but you move on from the situation.
Sure.
But a lot of times you don't apologize great. You don't say. A lot of times people try to figure out, this is why I acted like this. Not that I did this. And like you said, it's a vulnerable stage saying, I need to fix something. I need to work on this. That's hard to say. Yeah, I'm completely off right now.
I like that you mentioned that. And I feel like a lot of people don't apologize or find it hard to apologize because they can't get over their ego.
Yeah, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
My dad says this was just quick. Ego edging God out. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Cause it's really, that's what it is. Like you become this figure that's, I'm never wrong. I do this, I do that. So now you're saying I don't need to apologize. I don't need to do this. But how did you get to that level where you show no grace? How did you get to that level where you don't forgive? So it's just crazy.
If you ask most people, are they perfect? They'll say no. But they'll act as if they are, because if you're saying that you're not perfect, you're essentially acknowledging that at some point you'll have to forgive and be forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't want to have that conversation either, man.
But that's why I say it goes into that grace conversation. Why
Right.
do people struggle with giving people grace so much? But every single day you get grace. Every single day you get grace.
Yeah.
But you can't give people grace. Or they looked at me wrong. Oh, I don't like how they said this. I ain't ever talking to them again. I ain't got never, you know what I'm saying?
But just to kind of challenge that though,
Okay.
bro, I agree with what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
But the one thing I'm learning too a lot of time, and Toon, you can hop in here too.
Sure.
It's just like I feel like that when you give people too much grace, they take advantage of that, man. Like I'm sorry.
That's their own shortcoming though. That like I said,
That's fair.
like I said, I tell you this all the time. I'm not going to change who I am for that person. I'm not going to get down on your level. If you do something to me, this is the thing. I'm so forgiving. And I was talking to my wife about this. I'm so forgiving to people that have done stuff to me, and you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm so forgiving of it. But at this stage in my life, where I'm trying to fix that forgiving people is if they do something to my child or my wife or my family,
Sure.
or you know, or anybody else I love. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's that's where I'm struggling at right now. Like I got like, you know, give people grace in that. You know, somebody look at my daughter wrong.
Yeah.
I might gotta slap you. I love the Lord, but I slap you, and everybody that know me know, you know. So it's just that's my struggle, bro.
So I'll always say this. I say this all the time. I say I'm as nasty as I am nice. And what I mean by that is like I'll give you grace. I'm to a point now. I don't hold grudges with anybody. I just won't do it because I realize that I have done so much worse to other people, and I've done worse to God. So I will forgive you. But at the same time, don't play with me because I'm not going to be somebody that's going to get revenge on you. I just walk away. I'm not going to.
So
say
ain't
anything.
nothing's wrong with that. When I say grace, like if you know you got to separate from somebody,
Yeah, sure.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man. I don't like how you carry that. I can't deal with that. Or if you're talking to a woman and you know if somebody in a relationship,
Let's
you know,
get into that.
But even if you gotta do that with a woman, and you know what I'm saying, I think people say, man, they ain't deserve a conversation. If you spend enough time with that person, talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I agree with that.
It's like people will leave a job on good terms because it was money, something that they, you know, monetize, but they won't leave a relationship with somebody they've had for years and just they'll do that.
But I'll say this, especially dealing with somebody new, very rarely does a situation go where you don't check the person and it gets better. It normally gets worse. Like we're talking about even the woman thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the time, if you tolerate a girl like not texting you back, flaking on you and stuff like that, she won't go, you know what?
I'm gonna get better at this.
Exactly. She'll be like, oh, this nigga's a bitch. I'm gonna take advantage of him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna take full advantage.
Yeah. So women might say, women with the type of guy that a woman wants is just so weird. I want him to not be played with. I want him to be soft with me. I want him. So they want all these things. You want to throw all these mix into ingredients to how to make a man or how a man should be. It don't taste right because it's impossible. They want perfection in a man, and some men want perfection in a woman, you know, of course too.
Right.
But I just think, you know, you can't do that. It's never going to work out. So even, you know, like you said, it's some women that will try to take advantage of you, and they see how far you could push you. And if they could push you too much and you're a pushover, it's not going to last long at all.
Right. And as a man, you gotta stand on certain principles. You know, you can't go for anything. And it varies from person to person.
Yeah, sure.
It varies from it's all subjective. But it all depends on the person you are and the type of person that you're looking for, you know, your values that you have and what you're willing to accept and what you're willing not to accept, you know. And then at the end of the day, a lot of things come or stem from lack of communication.
Yeah,
communication can solve a lot of problems, and the lack of communication,
ego
leads to a lot of issues.
That's facts.
So I feel like communication is key. And well, let me rephrase that. Communication isn't key. Comprehension is key, because if I'm
effective communication,
but communication isn't key, because I can tell you something and you can listen, but if you're not comprehending what the point I'm trying, or the message I'm trying to convey, then the communication doesn't matter at all. You know what I'm saying?
I never even thought about that. That's facts.
because I can
That's
communicate several things and it can go through one ear and out the other. But if you're not listening, or if you're not able to want to listen and understand the message I'm trying to convey to you, then the communication is non-existent. So you have to comprehend the message I'm trying to convey. That way you can comprehend. That way we can come to an understanding as to the message I'm trying to deliver. So communication isn't key. I feel like comprehension is more important than communication.
Damn, man, that's a lot. I'm really trying to digest that, man. That's
Because we say
deep.
communication is key. Yeah. And you have to communicate. It starts with communication. You have to be able to talk and have a conversation. If I'm in the wrong, and not only communication and comprehension, but accountability, self-accountability. You have to be accountable for when you're in the wrong. You have to acknowledge that you're wrong, and then take accountability and have enough humility to be like, you know what? If I offended you, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I take full responsibility for my actions. What can we do to resolve this issue? That way we can move past and get over this, or what did I do to offend you? That way I can fix my mistake. That way we can, move along and as a cohesive unit.
And I'll have that conversation, bro. I really will. But I just think that most people just won't have the conversation, man, because it's just a pride thing.
It's a pride, ego.
It could be on both sides as a man and a woman that had that. But I do think when you do get to a place with a person, so I'll be married for 5 years next year.
Nice.
So it's like when you get to know a woman, women change, bro. Women change. They always change. They constantly change their likes, their wants. We change, but I don't think as quickly as women do. We change over time, but not as quickly. Women, it's like
they change like the wind.
I thought you liked this ice cream. No, I don't like that anymore. I like such and such. Oh, I ain't know, my bad, baby. I thought, you know what I'm saying? So it's just little stuff like that. But I think, like you said, when you talk about effective communication, I think getting to know that person. Because, we could talk about love languages all day and stuff like that. But, you can't do the stuff that you like or saying, or you might not handle something a certain way. You say, man, I wouldn't do that. But that person, not you. You know what I'm saying? So if they handle a certain way, don't get offended. Try to have an understanding why they didn't handle it the way you handled it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it saves us a lot of time and heartache to understand how that person's going to handle or why they handle it that way, instead of saying, man, I wouldn't have done you like that.
Right. And no, that's facts.
And I think that happens a lot where you saying, man, why that person, even in friendships, man, why that person do me that way? I wouldn't have did that. They're not you. They're not you at all.
True.
Yeah.
You got your own DNA. They got different DNA. And I know we try to do that, but just sitting down and having a conversation. And like I said, being effective communicators, that's important, not just in relationships with a woman, but also in relationships with friends, whether it be a woman or another man. Just having those conversations, being able to talk stuff out.
I think everybody can kind of work on their communication skills. I know, like, I've gotten better over the past couple of years because my communication style was very trash, and the thing about me is I admit my shortcomings. So I was raised by the majority of women. My father's in my life, good dude. I see him all the time, but like my father lived more down the streets. He wasn't in the house with me. So it's kind of more of a thing, like, whenever I needed something, my dad was there. I could go stay over his house, whatever the case is. But having a man in the house and just not having one kind of down the streets, two different things. So the way that I communicate when I get angry, and I'm still working on this, I'm very, for lack of a better word, very bitchy. You know what I'm saying? I can have the irrational mood swings. I can my pride can get the best of me. I can communicate like a woman sometimes when I get upset. And I had to go and look inside myself and say, okay, first of all, where is this coming from? And why am I having this problem? Because I'm going to tell you right now, and just to being transparent, D and I didn't speak for like, a year?
Yeah.
Over a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily anything that he did wrong, because he always was like, hey, if I had a problem with you, just come holler at me.
Sure.
But with me, the way I was, I'm like, nigga, fuck you, not saying fuck you like that, but just like, you
Nah,
know,
we
like,
gonna fight after
yeah, like, I don't want to talk to you because like, you know what you did, and I'm not going to communicate what I feel like you did, but it's just like, you should know already. You know what I'm saying? And that's very feminine to me, in my opinion.
Yeah. So even touch on that, like my thing was, you know, with anybody, any of my friends, that's why I say being effective in communicating. Let's communicate, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I can be wrong. And so if I offended you, let me know. Because I ain't trying to offend you. That ain't my goal. You know what I'm saying? Ain't my goal in life. Because we already have our struggles in life. So if you my friend or you my man, you my brother, I ain't trying to make your life difficult or put you in situations to make your life difficult. So, you know, saying let's talk stuff out because I can be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a part of accountability. Hey, look, I'm wrong. If I need to fix this and how I am, I need to do that. That's just something I need to do. But even I think stuff happened for a reason. I'm a big advocate for telling people stuff happened for a reason.
Sure.
There's really a purpose to everything. You never understand it, but it has its purposes.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't even want to talk about right now, but I know why that had that purpose right then in that point in my life. But you know, that's how you gotta look at stuff too. And that's why I told you about the endurance part. So knowing that stuff has purpose, knowing you have endurance to get through it, it might be hard, but you're gonna get through it.
Sure.
So let's talk about that actually, man. Toon, like, have you ever had something that just like was just crazy to you, like adversity wise, something that you thought that, hey, I'm not going to bounce back from? Because I know me personally, man, I'm not going to talk about it now, but this has like probably been the hardest year of my life, like I've ever lived in my life. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, I didn't fall off from the gym. I didn't stop doing what I wanted to do, even though on the inside, that's what I wanted to do because it was just so hard to keep going. But it's kind of like we were saying earlier, that discipline has kind of just kept me grounded and kind of made me realize that, you know what, hey, how I feel is not necessarily real. I have to keep going and do what I have to do.
Sure.
So have you ever had any kind of adversity, anything that kind of ever broke you down like that? Can you think of anything?
To my knowledge, probably when I quit my job for the first time.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. You know, I was doing outside sales. It's funny enough, I'm at the same job that I quit, just a different role within the company, but I was doing sales. Like, I'm really good with people.
Yeah, sure.
I get along with people fairly easily. I've always had that trait where as though I'm able to make friends. So the sales role, you know, I felt like, you know, I'd be pretty good. And I was doing my thing. But after a while, I just felt like, you know, this isn't me longevity wise. Like after a while, I felt like I was becoming a pest and a nuisance within the role. And then not only that, but my boss was trying to like micromanage me, which I'm not going for because I'm a grown man. You're not going to just be like over top of me and just got the microscope on me all day. Like, so after a certain point, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. So I quit. But the mistake I made was I quit without a plan. And I didn't realize that until not having a job and just spending money, and my bank account diminished quicker than I made the money. And there were weeks on weeks where I would just be in the bed thinking like, damn, what am I going to do now? Like, I didn't have a plan A or B before I quit. I just quit out of emotion. Like, man, fuck it. You know, I'm not doing this no more. I'm not going back. And luckily I left on good terms and everybody still loved me. So I was able to come back after the fact. But that was a tough point in my life. And I just had no plan. And the adversity was trying to figure out what was my next steps, or like, how do I rebuild myself? How do I build my bank account? How do I build my mental? Where do I go? Like, I had no roadmap, no game plan, no plan A, B, or C. It was just going through the motions. I would wake up and be kind of depressed. I'm like, damn, what do I do next? You know?
I've been there, bro.
And then, you know, thank God for the gym, because I would find myself in the gym all day. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the gym, you know? And it was kind of like a hiding place for me, like hiding from reality, being in the gym all day. And it helped me. It helped me and it hurt me. It hurt me in the sense that I was using that as an escape from what I really needed to face as far as trying to get my life back on track. But it helped me more so to keep my mind straight and focused. That way I can do so. you know, and it was a place I was going to be anyway. So I kind of used it as not only a crutch, but I used it as a ladder to elevate me and to keep my mind on track. That way, you know, when it was ready to jump into the next endeavor or to find whatever was going to take me from that dark place I was in at the moment, that was the, you know, the adversity part that I was trying to get through in essence.
Yeah, process is definitely necessary for your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Without it, you know, you see just today, you know, you're expecting a sunny day outside. It rains. You're like, dang, I messed up my plans for the day. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That rain was necessary for the growth, to wash away dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It was necessary. And like you said, I went through a process, 24.
Mm-hmm.
I quit my job. Didn't really have a plan. About to get married.
Mm.
I didn't. My fiance at the time, which is my wife, she said, "Go ahead, you know, quit." But I should have had a plan. But that's the past. But it helped my growth as a man because I went through some things. I went through some things, but I think some things are necessary. Like I said, it has its purpose.
Sure.
I would never do that again.
Yeah, never.
I would never do that again. You know, it taught me like, all right, you have a plan. Next time you ever do something like that or quit, or I've quit jobs now. But I've done it in the right way.
Have a backup.
Yeah, I've done it in the right way. I felt I was at that point. I had a woman that was managing me that started trying to yell at me or do. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, this not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, right?
I mean, to a certain extent, I get what y'all saying. You should quit and have a plan, but for a certain extent, I kind of admire like somebody that's brave enough to do that. And like, because me, the person that I am, I've always played things very, very, very safe. You know, like I'm like, if I can't have 100% guaranteed this is going to work out, I wasn't going to do it. You know,
you and the risk when you want something, risk is involved. Risk is involved.
It's inevitable, bro.
Risk is involved.
It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm. You really want something, risk has to be involved with it. But I'm just saying he might understand too because he did it. It was just like unnecessary hardship that I went through that I didn't necessarily have to go through. And that was on me, and that was a part of me feeling bad at certain times. Like, dang, I did this. I put myself in this predicament.
I did.
It's no one to blame. I put myself in this predicament because I couldn't put up with that at the moment. But that's also speak to your mental health is important as well too, because that's when people talk about mental health, but when it's time to take care of their mental health, people don't really care. I think people don't really care as the jobs and will say. Make sure they'll send out little post things on your email. Make sure you take this as a mental health quote and they have this. But if you tell your supervisor, well, I have great supervisors now, but I know in the past if I told, hey man, I need a mental day. What? You need a what?
Yeah,
you know.
These jobs don't care about you, man. They really don't.
Replace you in 2 weeks.
At all.
Somebody be on board in 2 weeks, boy.
Yeah, 2 days.
The next hour, we being honest.
Hey, we got to open it down.
Facts,
your seat's still warm.
I'll tell you, bro. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do for you, though. So, Toon, when you quit, you think it was more like impulsivity? Were you just upset at your supervisor? Like, what was going through your mind when you actually just quit your job?
Truth be told, I felt like I wasn't, and no disrespect to anybody that works, because I still work. I still have a job. I actually went back to the same company that I quit. You know, thank God I didn't leave on bad terms, and I made great connections.
Right.
But in my mind, I just felt like, you know what? I don't feel like I should be working a job. You know, I feel like I'm a entrepreneur at heart, and I feel like there's so much more in this world for me than being subjected to a company that doesn't really care about you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Having a set time where you have to be somewhere, you have to adhere to other people's guidelines, just people telling you what to do. And I'm just like, nah, man, I'm a grown man. Like, I should be able to move at will on my own and be able to make my own decisions and not have to worry about if there's going to be repercussions or disciplinary actions if I don't do something according to how somebody wants me to do it. Yeah. And it still bothers me. Not gonna lie. Like, I still feel like this isn't for me, you know? And not only that, but when you have people in your network or you have people in your, you know, in your friend group that are doing big things or like, man, and you see them doing things, and not to compare myself to anybody, because, you know, comparison is the thief of all joy. But when you see the possibilities out there, and you realize like, man, and you understand certain things about yourself within yourself and the potential you have within your own capabilities. You realize like, there's a lot more things out here that I could be doing rather than subjecting myself to this job. Like, I can do anything in this world that I want to. And my father always preached that growing up. He's like, man, you could be anything you want to if you work hard and you believe in yourself. And that kind of triggered that decision that, oh, you know what, man, this isn't for me. I'm going to quit this job. I'm going to do what I feel like I want to do. Like, get into the fitness space or be an influencer or just have my own business. It's just being in that 9-to-5 space is just kind of depressing.
It is. Yeah. I can feel that, but this is what I had to do.
Sure.
Even in my job now, I do well for myself and everything else, but at the same time, I felt the same way. Like I don't feel like it's a bit my PTO, stuff like that. Like, if I have a vacation, oh, you can't go. Imagine somebody you got it, but they say, oh, we need you that week.
Wow.
So it's some of that. Like I said, motivation does lead you to a point where you can't get consistent discipline. So even last week, me and my dad are business partners. I called him. I said, hey, look, there's some stuff. I'm tired of being stressed. And if I'm going to be stressed, I want it to be my own thing.
Facts.
If I'm going to put this sweat and the sweat equity into something, I want it to be mine. I want to see a return on my investment.
Right.
You working for somebody else is not really return, because I don't care how great you do for them. It's not promised that they promote you or you get more money there.
That's real, bro.
And I've seen that because I've done great things at my job, but I might not have seen. And here's another thing. Sure. It might not be at that place where you receive your promotion. It might be the preparation for it. I equate this to all the time. This is my favorite Bible story.
Okay.
David was in the field working hard with the sheep. A prophet came and said, I'm coming to anoint somebody. Man, his pop showed him all his brothers. Pops didn't even show David because he felt like David wasn't worthy. Some people don't think you're worthy of what you're supposed to get. Pops didn't show him. He said, this not who I'm looking for. Finally showed David. David did. He got his anointing. David went back and kept working. That's a problem. Sometimes we know like I'm bigger than what I'm doing now, and we don't want to do it no more. We lacking it. It's a purpose for us being there. It's preparing us for what we got to do next. It was preparation for him to be the king. He had to take care of the sheep first before he could take care of people.
I mean, that's facts too. And I think what people kind of fail to realize too, and I'm kind of like you too, Toon. Like the fact that I have to ask another grown man for permission to do anything rubs me the wrong way.
It's crazy.
But at the same time, what I think that we got to realize is that a job can be a stepping stone of what you really want to do, because jobs can provide security. Like for example, it can provide you a steady income, health insurance, even a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as long as you're taking that income and funneling into something that you want to do by yourself. So if you're working, it's not because you have to, it's because you want to. So I think people really kind of think about that too sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, it's definitely benefits from it, and it's definitely like I said, it might be a stepping stone. That might be the place. Like I said, that the place you're in right now might not be the place necessarily where you receive all your highlights, your money, and everything. That might not be the place, and that's okay. And that's why I say I've changed. Like I literally changed my perspective. I talk to him about it all the time. I try to change my perspective, even not to get mad at people or things. Yeah, because it's almost like he's seen my growth. He's seen my growth of. He's seen a few times where I probably would have acted out a different way in situations, but it was growth because it's like, all right, I'm here for a reason. Sure. Of course, I still get mad. I'm human. You know what I'm saying? But I deal with it differently than I would have.
Yeah, that's facts, man. So, Toon, what's it ultimately you want to do in the next couple of years? What do you see yourself in the next 5 years, man? I know you're trying to launch your fitness brand. And you were talking about even trying to do a little bit of personal training too, right?
Yeah. So it's funny enough, like in my mind, I've trained people before. I've personal trained before, but I actually want to take a step back from personal training. Not because I don't love helping people. I love helping people. I love the satisfaction that I get from knowing that I help somebody to improve. It's a way greater satisfaction than any dollar amount, could ever bring. But I realize as growing older, I have to protect my energy. and personal trainers these days, man, I see them, they're not happy, unless you have some high-end clientele, whereas though, like, the time is worth the effort is worth the money. I mean, it's stressful, and I see the stress on their face. I'm just like, man, I don't want to be in that guy's shoes.
Right.
But to answer your question, like, I want to get big with my brand. I want the brand to be a representation of my input in the fitness space.
Explain your brand. Go more in depth with your brand, what it is and what you want it to mean.
So my brand, essentially, it just means self-improvement overall.
Okay.
You becoming the best version of yourself possible. The motto, no sweat, no check. If you ain't sweat, you ain't work. Self-improvement is always on the menu. And I feel like there's a person within each of us that can be achieved, and that's the best version of you. And not everybody realizes that, and they need somebody else to pull that out of them. And that's what I kind of want to bring into the world, whereas though I'm able to pull that person that you need to find deep, you need to dig deep down in yourself and reach and grab out and level up. So my brand just promotes self-improvement and you wanting to be the best version of yourself possible.
Is that eating and working out?
That's eating, that's working out, that's just being a well-rounded individual where it comes to nutrition, health, everything that encompasses just being a good person, and having a healthy lifestyle, healthy mindset, and just, promoting self-improvement, nutrition, proper dieting, fitness, just everything in one, and just being the best version of you that you can possibly be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and I know we're gonna go, but I think sometimes, like, if you get your paycheck, it never comes with like instructions on what you need to say this much, you need to do this. It's just a paycheck.
Sure.
So I always thought, like, man, why doesn't anyone get a gym and they tell a person not only try to put them on a personal trainer, but hey, this should be a good diet for you. I know what weight you're at, and they give them the blueprint. Why isn't anyone doing that with people at a gym?
I feel like people are doing that at the gym, but it's not enough.
No, I'm saying like a gym, actually, that's what they do. You come in, you new membership,
okay,
and they say, hey, look, we have, it's not extra $10 a month and the extra $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is in with your fee. Listen, we're gonna take your weight, we're gonna do this. I got a nutritionist here. This is a meal plan for this week.
Sure.
Go work out, and I'm giving you this because that's just like your paycheck you get from work.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to a financial advisor and they'll advise you on what to do, but it's extra.
Sure.
So
and I feel like that would be a great business model, to have a gym where it actually cares and is structured to actually help the individual more than just taking their monthly payment at $10. Whereas though you come in, you pay your membership, but along with the membership, you get a meal plan, you get guidance as far as fitness or how to work out, or a nutritional guide, something that you can carry outside of the gym. Whereas though you feel like, okay, this is not only a gym where they're just taking my money, but this is a place where they're helping me improve as a person. That would be an awesome idea, and I feel like that needs to be implemented, opposed to you go in and then, because a lot of people don't know how to exercise. A lot of people lack educational knowledge about nutrition or what they need to be doing. That way, when they go to the gym, they're not wasting time. A lot of people go to the gym and they're just wasting time because, for one, they don't know how to exercise, and then number two, more importantly than the exercise, the nutrition comes first. Like, exercise plays a backseat to the nutrition, and people don't realize that. You can go to the gym 24 hours, 365, bust your ass, sweat. But if you leave and go to the McDonald's right there, or you leave and go get the biscuits from Popeyes or whatever the case may be, or the Five Guys, you literally just wasted your time. And that all stems from just being educated about nutrition and how it goes hand in hand with fitness. But more importantly, it also stems down to discipline. Once you realize, okay, this is what I need to be putting in my system, this is what I need to be doing at the gym, and these two need to work in tandem for me to actually see a real result, or the desired result that I'm looking to achieve.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Why not partner with a grocery store or something like that? Have people that come in with their meals or whatever that you need to partner with. I think that would be great.
Awesome.
I like that idea. That's a great idea, actually.
Let's shut this down, man. Toon,
Yes, sir.
you've been amazing, bro.
Appreciate you.
Man, you are welcome on the platform at any time. Seriously, man.
I'd love to come back, man. This is a good talk and much needed. You know, us as black men, we need to be doing this a lot more often, and then just educating and inspiring others to do better, be better, and educating folks, not only black men but people across the world, just to, you know, have a higher level of thinking, you know. So this is great. I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate the talk, man. This is love, and I definitely love to be back whenever you choose to invite me. So good deal.
D, you got any last words, man?
Just I really appreciate this conversation. It was motivation for me to get to that point of discipline and consistency.
Sure.
Because not only, you know, like I said, I tried to balance everything and put everything together, but it was good, you know, hearing this.
Discipline is freedom, man. Will, any last words, man?
Nah, everything's straight. Everything is straight.
And Toon, before we go, man, tell the people how they can find you, man. Social medias, websites, some more stuff. I got your brand on. Put the camera on me real quick, Will. If you ain't sweat, you ain't working, man. Sweatcheck.
I appreciate you, bro, for rocking the gear. That's my cutoff hoodie. The website will be coming soon. I just kind of took a step back to kind of reinvent myself. That way I can produce a better product, a more quality product, and take a different step in the direction of my brand. On IG, you can follow me, Sweat for the Check. Twitter is Toon 2 times. So Toon, TOON, the number 2, and then times TIMEZ. And then I'm also on TikTok as Sweatcheck. So that's how you can follow me on all socials. I'll follow you back. Any feedback, any ideas is greatly appreciated. And thanks again, bro. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, definitely.
Much love.
Hey, man, look, that's all our time. Till the next time, man. Continue to follow us on Instagram, social media, TikTok, and that's pretty much it, man. That's all our time. Till the next time, man. This is the Shattered Illusionz Podcast, and we are out of here.
Will I take him to the cranky?
Yeah, man. Why don't nobody do that?
What?
You gotta have somebody.